Some days you sit down to play something and it just hasn't been a great day. Like you could play Elden Ring, but you already are in a bad mood and you don't want to die to Beast Clergyman another 80 times and then go to bed. Well, let me tell you, I've been there, and I'm sure we all have, especially on the whole Beast Clergyman part. That guy sucks. But one thing that never fails to cheer me up is what I'd call playing a feel-good game. These can exist in pretty much any genre, and they're typically a little shorter, but I think that's part of why I enjoy them. Sitting down, playing a short game, and then being done with it in only a few hours? It's honestly a nice feeling when every video game is trying to indefinitely keep you playing it forever. Okay, so the games. I don't think there's a better way to start this than a little red guy with no arms. This inspired the video in the first place, and that's because it's just so unbelievably likable. The goofy dialogue, weird platforming, constantly throwing new things at you like all the time, and who could forget the guy that says El Bunko? I mean, if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. That guy's awesome. Yeah, the game might be like 5 hours if you pretty much do everything, but in those few hours, you can play hide and seek with a rock, crush some bird eggs, play a watermelon sport, platform through a dungeon that you unlock by collecting 3 apples, and you get captured by those freaky guys from that children's show. You know which one I'm talking about. I'll put them on screen. God, I don't like those guys at all. And all that stuff just happens in the first area. Is the platforming revolutionary? No, it's pretty stupid, but that's why it's so fun. I don't think I'd be talking about this game if it wasn't for the soundtrack though. It's so bouncy and colorful. This game and the soundtrack are perfect for each other. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It's like two brothers, Tom Holland and Chris Pratt in the new movie Onward. If you don't smile at least once while playing Pikuniku, you have committed a crime. You're gonna get arrested tomorrow. No, but really, it's a great game, and I still think about it all the time. I mean, when I try to think of games that like cheered me up the most, this one always just comes to mind. There's something about it. It's just really special. So go play Pikuniku. What the golf? And let me preface this by saying that I fucking hate golf games. I don't know what it is about them. They just piss me off. If you ask any of my friends, they'll be like, yeah, they hate golf games. I just do. I don't know what it is. When I first saw people playing this, I thought it was just gonna be a gimmicky little 10th level golf game, but instead of it being like normal golf, it's wicked messed up and it would just run dry. No, this game has like 5 hours of dumb golf ideas to throw at you in succession, like constantly. And I had so much fun playing this that I beat it in a day. I don't even know where to start. Like, you can go to space levels, like you're in space. Also, you can be a car or a couch or just a guy flopping around. Every single level you go into, you will not know what is going to happen. Like, I promise this. One of my personal favorites is this one where you control an egg and a chick simultaneously, and when you beat it, the game says this. All of it feels so clever and fun, and there's so many ridiculous ideas thrown at you in the few hours you play it that it never gets old. You just move on to the next thing so quickly that it's just fun to keep playing it. This game's amazing, and it's pretty much on any platform, so there is no excuse for why you can't play What the Golf. Go buy it, go play it, it's amazing. Wobbledogs. If you like The Sims, like this is a must-have. Instead of controlling people who don't know how to like feed themselves and just like pee everywhere, you control the world's worst dogs. And then you feed them a variety of foods that you should not feed real dogs. Don't feed your dog a cake. That's not a good idea. But when you feed them, it changes how they grow. So your dog will start as an egg, and then you want to incubate it and then give it a name like Cheddar or whatever the hell. From there, you got to grow your dog, give it pets, give it food, be nice to your dog. That's a very important step, and I obviously take very good care of my Wobbledogs. And then eventually it'll want to go into a cocoon and mutate. And then once it's done with that, you'll see all the changes that the food made to it. My first goal was to make the longest dog I could. And I think I achieved it. I've put like 23 hours into Wobbledogs so far, so there's a little more to offer here if you're kind of into this thing. I really appreciate how laid back and relaxed this game is. I think the music adds to that, but in general, the gameplay is a lot less stressful than The Sims. And you can share your dogs with people. And let me tell you, if you want Carpet, I'll put Carpet's dog code in the description. And you can put Carpet into your game. Something wrong with him, though. I don't know what it is, but something about how he's shaped just destroys the physics of the game. He can't like walk and he just kind of like jitters. I don't know what's wrong with him. Besides the dogs, you can customize the rooms, set up tunnels between them, give the dogs toys to play with. It feels like a perfect blend of a sandbox game and a Sims game. That's pretty much all I have to say about Wobbledogs. It's just a really good time. I'll leave you with some footage of my dog Carpet floating around in zero gravity. I'm a big fan of frogs. There's something about them. They're just one of the most likable creatures on the planet. So when I found out there's a series of games where you get to be a frog who's also a detective, I mean, you've sold me. Frog Detective 1 and 2 are very short games where you solve mysteries by talking to a bunch of really fun characters. The writing is lovely, and that's good because that's a majority of what the game has to offer. They're only $5 each, and both of them hold a special place in my heart. You can tell the focus of the game is to be the most accessible thing in the world. And more so than other forms of media, this is something that is looked down upon in the space of video games when it really shouldn't be. Frog Detective is one of the best games for anyone, and I think that's something to celebrate instead of belittling it for not being for sweaty gamers. So anyway, you have this magnifying glass, and it's essential for solving any mystery, such as how stupid will this guy look through a magnifying glass? You just put it over anything and it's funny, like the spider. The thing is, since both of the Frog Detective games are pretty short, I don't really want to show a lot of it. Just go buy it. They're $5 and they're really fun. The last thing I want to talk about is Cozy Grove. If you're someone who wants to try Animal Crossing but doesn't have a console for it, or if you're like me and you played Animal Crossing New Horizons for 2 months straight and then got really annoyed by it, this is a great option on Steam. The majority of it is very similar to Animal Crossing. You do a bunch of chores, you go fishing, decorate, and collect stuff, but the main difference is these quests for ghostly creatures that live near your camp. These quests are pretty much all like a hidden object game. You're told vaguely where an object is in the description, you go find it, and you bring it back to them. Once you finish it, the surrounding area around that character regains color. As the area gains more color, hidden objects and harvestable stuff becomes so much easier to spot, giving quests some benefit to the overall gameplay. And also, I'm sure you've noticed, but this game looks fantastic. The art style is so unique, and I love how the colors look. It's just really well made. There's only about 2 hours of stuff to do per day because the game is real world time based. I've been playing it on the Steam Deck recently, and it's been such a great time. I kind of feel like I'm living in an alternate universe where my Steam Deck is a Switch and Cozy Grove is Animal Crossing. They added catching bugs since I last played, and skipping rocks into clams, which is like, what the fuck is that? And you can have little animals and stuff that you like pet and like feed. There's just way more to do in this game than Animal Crossing, to be honest. Overall, that's kind of why I've been playing it. I feel like it solves a lot of the problems that New Horizons had. Like you can craft multiple items at a time, easily move outdoor furniture. The characters you interact with actually have unique dialogue because they're written as like a single character instead of like 8 different character types that just say they have bugs in their house all the time. And one of the best features that just like solidifies this game being amazing is a persistent daylight setting. If you're someone who only has time to play games like this at night, it's a fucking bummer to boot it up and see that everyone's asleep, it's night, and you can't do anything. Well, in this game, you can just check that box and then it's daytime. Cozy Grove is a great game. It's $15 on Steam. If you want to try something like Animal Crossing, give it a shot. I hope at least one of these games seemed appealing to you, and if any of them did, I'll have Steam links in the description to all of them. You can also just wishlist them too, so you have them ready for whenever a bad day comes around. I might talk about more of these in the future too. There are a couple that I didn't mention here that were on my mind, and I really enjoyed making this video. What are some feel-good games that you would recommend? I'd love to hear what you have to say, and you can throw them in the comments for other people to read them too. Thank you so much for watching my video. Bye bye.